If you're an online coach thinking about scaling, before you onboard that sales guru, the CRM system, start doing paid ads, you need to watch this video because honestly, this will make or break your growth and it isn't what anyone's talking about. Now, if you're regular on this channel, yes, this is a little bit different. Yes, I am not talking about the remote lifestyle or what it actually looks like to get into remote work. But today I'm speaking directly to coaches, to the online business owners that I've been working with over the past 3 years. I literally forgot how long I've been doing this for. But the past 3 years I've been working in online coaching offers as a setter and a sales professional, and I've got something that the industry needs to hear. I've built sales processes from the ground up in businesses that were not built for a setter. I've seen what works and I've seen what gets sold has worked, and I've watched coaches waste thousands bringing the wrong people in at the wrong time. So if you're thinking about building a sales team, stick with me and I will save you a lot of money. Let's start with the basics because I genuinely don't feel like enough coaches understand exactly what a strong setter brings to the table. As someone that's worked in hospitality, I know that I'm really good at being a host. I used to work at Australasia in Manchester. And let me tell you, setting is not that different. As a setter, very aware of the fact that you are front of house for a business, and I'm sure that the business owners onboarding setters will want them to know that that's how the setter is feeling. After all, they are the first human touch point between yourself and this potential client. They're in the DMs, they're managing the pipeline, they're having conversations that move someone from vaguely interested to a booked call. But here's what sets a great setter apart from a good one. This is the part that nobody talks about, and that is the fact that a great setter doesn't just book calls, they can actually feed intelligence back to your business. They're telling you when they're getting the best reply rates, what content's performing really well, who's actually responding, is this your ICP that you initially set out to attract? What pain points keep coming up in the DMs? What objections are we hitting before we can even get people on the call? And what's working this week that wasn't working last month? All of these things can feed into your wider business strategy. Like, that information is literally gold dust. And it's sitting inside your inbox every day. Honestly, if only you had someone in there that knows what they're doing and more importantly knows how to communicate that back to you rather than sitting on this vault of information. Your setter should be the most informed person in your whole business. If they're not feeding back into your strategy, you've got a DM monkey, not a setter. And you want to be doing the same vice versa. What's upcoming? What can they really start to make people excited about? How can they weave that into their rapport building before getting them onto that initial call after they've built that curiosity? Now, I'm not saying that systems don't matter, because they do, and I have worked with many a CRM and some I've enjoyed working on, I admit. But here's the principle I want you to take away from this video. Systems follow people, not the other way around. A CRM doesn't book calls. A ManyChatFlow doesn't build trust with a warm lead. And a Slack workplace doesn't close deals. People do. When you bring in a scaling consultant, before you have the right people in place, before you actually understand exactly what you want the business to be doing, you're building infrastructure around a gap. You're automating a problem instead of solving it. And what you end up with is basically a beautifully organized system full of leads that nobody is engaging with. And what does that mean? They're not converting. You want to be getting the right people in first, understanding your own pipeline, and building an understanding of what's actually happening inside your offer. Then you can start layering systems on top of that, not the other way around. If you're an early stage coach starting to scale, here's exactly how I would go around building your own team. First, before you even start thinking about a sales team, you need to make sure that the foundations are in place. I'm not going to be naive here and say the first hire you need is an appointment setter, because a lot of the time it's not. You might need help with organic content, you might need help with all of the admin tasks that keep your business running, and that's why I'd recommend getting a VA. Get them to help with admin, scheduling, supporting your organic content, ultimately helping you build an audience so that you are ready to onboard someone like an appointment setter like me. These tasks are the ones that tend to eat your time daily, but they don't necessarily need your brain. Because until you've freed up that time, then you can't actually lead a business, you're just surviving it. So it's really important to feel like you have capacity to start growing your team. And while your VA is handling the admin, get in the trenches. Learn what it actually looks like to be a setter. Learn what it looks like to be a closer. Try it, feel how hard it is. I genuinely praise a moment where a client comes to me who has had this and tested it firsthand themselves. They know how difficult it is, they get it, they know how important it is to build a rapport, to be authentic, to stop these leads from dropping off. They understand what a tough gig it is, how much skill it takes, and how critical it is to the whole operation. Those are the coaches who lead their sales team properly. The ones who never touch the inbox are the ones who get taken advantage of because they think a sales guru is going to fix everything. Secondly, obviously my favourite, your appointment setter. It's time to hire them. This is your front of house team, as I mentioned before. The person who owns the inbox, manages the pipeline, and feeds strategy back into your business. This is your most important sales hire, and coaches either skip it entirely or get it completely wrong. So do not be either of those coaches. You're gonna make the perfect hire, and you can lean on me to do that, obviously, but we'll get into that later. Thirdly, it obviously has to be your closer. What I will say is you should already know what good calls look like. You should own this yourself. You should know your conversion rate. You should know the objections. When you know this end to end, inside and out, then that's when you can start looking at onboarding a closer, someone to take this process away from you. Obviously, once calls are being booked consistently as well, you just want that extra person who can be on hand to help convert them. And here's the thing that ties this all together. You need to have a strong understanding of what each of these people are doing. Not micromanaging them, understanding them. There's a difference. Because if you don't understand this sales process, then anyone can walk in and tell you what it should look like, and you won't have the knowledge or the confidence to push back. Honestly, that's exactly how scaling consultants get away with it. Coaches don't know their numbers, they don't know their pipeline, they don't know what's actually working, so they defer to whoever is the most confident in the room. And please do not let that, after you've watched this video, be you. So here's what I want you to be careful of. Scaling consultants optimize for looking like they're doing something. A new tool, a paid ad, a fresh automation, these things feel like momentum. And when you're in the weeds of running a coaching business, momentum feels good, even when it points in the wrong direction. But ask yourself, does this person actually understand my offer? Have they spent time inside my sales process? Do they know who my leads are and what conversations are moving them towards a call? If the answer is no, they're building a house on somebody else's foundation. And when it doesn't work, they'll be on to the next client, and you will be left holding all of these tools. Now, I want to be really upfront about something because I think it matters. I'm not a sales coach with a team that I place into your offer and take a cut from them. That's not what I do, and it's not how I work, and it's actually one of my motivations behind getting into coaching myself. What I believe in and what I've built are setters that actually are highly trained, independently own the sales process, who you as a client can trust and lead. And that's a very different thing to what most people are offering in this space. I'm at a point in my journey now where I want to build genuine relationships with coaches who want to do this, who are at that point of scaling and looking to have one of these sales gurus on top. I want you to be doing it properly. So if you're watching this and thinking about building a sales team, I'd love to connect. I've left a link in the description for you to book a 30-minute call. And this is just a conversation to learn a bit more about your business, tell you a bit about what I do. If everything aligns, perhaps we can set something up. But ultimately, we'll be growing our network. And if this video gave you something to think about, definitely subscribe. This channel is usually about lifestyle and the reality of working in remote sales, but content like this and supporting actual coaches in the space and online business owners is something that I want to be doing and showing up more to showcase the value my setters can bring, obviously. So see you at the next one.